and welcome back to my channel. This is a faith-filled journey. I am so excited today to be sharing with you my prayer journal and also explain a little bit about why I have a prayer journal. So my prayer journal, actually the reason why I call it my prayer journal is that it is a place that I keep absolutely everything related to like my relationship with God. So when I study the Bible, when I listen to sermons, when I'm in church, and even just like personal prayers and journaling is all in one place. So over the past year or so, I've tried different ways of keeping something like this, and I've found that when I just have everything all in one place, that is the most effective for me. But that is the most amazing thing about a prayer journal, is that it's completely unique to you. So every single person is going to keep one differently. So some people have different books for different things that they want to do, and sometimes even have one book that has different folders in it. Whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you. But what I found easiest for me is keeping it all in one place. So I wanted to share with you my first prayer journal, and I've finished all the pages in it, so now I have a new one. But I wanted to share with you what this one looked like so you can see what I started out with. So I did lots of research into what some other people do, and I tested this one out. For me, I had this notebook. It's just plain lined paper inside, and I decided to start it off with like a quote. And it says, "I confidently trust the Lord to take care of me." And that was something that God was really teaching me at the time. And so the first page that I did was my pray for page. So I chose to do sticky notes, and I kept prayers like related to work, related to my finances, friends, family, even like something that I really felt God wanted to grow me in with my capacity this year. So I had like a specific sticky note that reminded me about that. And I actually have a sticky note here that was about YWAM. And so this was before I actually decided to go to YWAM. You know how I've explained where I went through that period of being really down and upset and things like that. That was written during that time, and it said, "This is a desire of my heart. Lord, show me when and where to do this. If it's your will, help it all to fall in place." And not too long after that, he really revealed it to me and made it all happen, and now I'm going to YWAM. That's what I love about keeping everything in the one place, in the one journal, because it allows me to see really cool things like that that I would otherwise forget about. My next page was my prayer plan. So I kept here like my personal prayers. So when people asked me to pray for something, or whether I was praying for somebody, I would write it down here. And I also was able to kind of turn this into a place where I could actually note down when those prayers were answered. I even have a note here where I put down the actual date that I got accepted into YWAM. So I was praying for that for a month, praying for God to come through and for an answer on that. And a month after I prayed, it came through, and I was just like praising God for that. So it's cool to be able to document those special times. The next thing I had in here was like a prayer suggestion calendar for my compassion child. So I actually have a compassion child, and she's a beautiful little girl in the Philippines. And so our whole church, we sponsor children in the same kind of region. It's really cool, and that's what I love about compassion. So obviously I pray for her all the time. The next two pages were like a journaling prayer page dedicated to the youth ministry that I run, and also the church that I'm a part of. So just praying for all different things and allowing God to really speak into that as well. And after that, I have pages dedicated to prayer for different things. So one of the coolest ones that I loved was actually from the Coffee and Bible Time YouTube page, but that was prayers for your future husband. So I love that. That's really cool. I highly recommend everybody to do that. And then I had pages for prayers for like my immediate family. So I would just journal in those and be able to constantly pray over them as well. And then after that, we just move into everything else. So I have everything from mentoring preparation, notes from sermons on a Sunday, women's connect group. I have conference notes. What else do we have? I even have things from Celest as well, her channel. Any of her videos, I always take notes on that. And the Coffee and Bible Time one. When Celeste did the Book of James study, I have that all in here. And then I have even things like when I did my own personal study, I did the first few chapters of Psalms, and so I wrote down all of that. Then I have even like planning for youth meetings, some stuff from the Coffee and Bible channel. So when they did the Proverbs 31 video, I have all of that. I absolutely loved that video. I'm going to link it down below. If you want a great starter for studying the Bible, that is a perfect video. I loved that one. I also have Ruth and Psalm 63 when they did those as well. So I'm going to link the link to the playlist of all their Bible study videos down below because I love that as well. And have things from when like I'm worship leading, so when God places a certain song on my heart, I'll actually note it down and I'll go through the song and listen to it over and over and over, pull out my favorite lines and really just seek what God wants me to bring to the song and what he wants people to take away from it. So I note down all of that stuff so that when I'm actually worship leading, I make sure that I'm staying onto that as well. Then I actually have, the last thing I have in here is the planning for my YouTube channel. So that is so cool to be able to document that and look back on all of that as I go into the future. Now we'll move on to my new prayer journal, and this is a notebook that I got gifted for Secret Santa last year, I think, and I just had it sitting in my cupboard for ages, and so I decided to use it. This time I wanted to go for a little bit more of a simplistic look inside, so my Bible verse title page looks a little bit different. So I had like pieces of scrap paper and patterned paper and sticky notes and all that kind of stuff. I just kind of stuck to really simplistic colors. And the Bible verse that I chose for this one is Luke 1 verse 45. And it says, "Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill his promises to her." And I absolutely love that verse, and I really feel like that's what God is teaching me in my next season that I'm going into, is having the full understanding and belief that he will fulfill what he has promised to me, and walking in that too, so I have complete assurance of that. So that's what I feel like God is teaching me in the next season, but I thought that was a really cool base for this prayer journal. Going into this second page, I have my pray for page. So similar to the last one, this is going to be kind of like spur of the moment things, prayers that I have on the go. So when people ask me to pray for something, or I feel like I want to pray for I don't know, when Compassion emails me and tells me about a certain country they're praying for, I'll note it down here. So I'm going to make like a big checklist and make it a bit more scrapbooky. So have little like clouds and like a mind map kind of thing. That's what I'm planning to do in here. But yeah, list it down and pray for it and check it off when I kind of move on to something else. The next page is my prayer list. So this is going to be a little bit more intentional. So this is where I wanted to look into the concept of prayer more, because I know that there's different types of prayer. So there's like the prayer of thanksgiving or the prayer of intercession, things like that. So I wanted to kind of note down the different prayers that there are and then pray for those things specifically when I have my prayer times. Moving into, I did the same thing as in the last one, a page each for my church and my youth group. So praying into that specifically as well. And then the next page, which is different to the other one, is promises of God. And I just thought this was so cool. So as I'm going through my Bible study and reading the Bible, whenever I see something that God promises to us, I wanted to write it down, so make it like a big mind map. And then once I kind of finish this journal, I can look back and just be so amazed at the promises that God has for us. Then I go straight into all of my notes. So I decided to skip out on specific pages for like my family and stuff right now, because I'm going to add them to the prayer list page separate to the intentional praying thing, or I'll add them to the prayer for list. I haven't decided yet, but I always figured the cool thing about it is that I can just go ahead and make pages as I feel like it. So in between all my notes, I might have a page praying specifically for my mum, or praying for like, I don't know, literally anything, so I can make it exactly what I want it to be. I started with Ephesians, so I have a in-depth Bible study on Ephesians 1. I'll link that down below if you would like to go and see that, but this is the notes for that. And as you can see, it's just a little bit more like simplistic, and I think I'll add in my pastel highlighters every now and then, but I just wanted it to be a little bit more minimal. Then I have planning for my mentoring session with my little mentee. I love you, Mia. And yeah, just going through Ephesians. I went through all of Ephesians. I absolutely loved Ephesians. Then I have like Sunday sermon notes again. And then I have Philippians. So I just finished Philippians and I'm going to move on to another book of the Bible now. And I even have things like youth camp meeting notes, stuff like that. Yeah, that's my new prayer journal, and I'm sure it will evolve into including heaps more things, but yeah, that's what it is for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos and all of the YWAM content coming super soon. I pray that this has helped you. Maybe if you haven't started a prayer journal, maybe this has encouraged you to do so, or maybe given you some ideas if you already have a prayer journal. If you have any ideas of new pages that I can include in my prayer journal, please leave it down below so that we can all collaborate and get awesome ideas from each other. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to check out the description box for the Coffee and Bible Time playlist for all of their Bible study videos, and Celeste's one as well. And I'll link that Ephesians in-depth Bible study there as well. So for all of that kind of stuff, check the link in the description box. I hope you just have the most amazing day wherever you are, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!